And we're back once again, only on It's Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel. And joining me here now on location, he's aiming to make it 3 in a row in Bellator. He's coming off a very fun, action-packed fight against Grant Neal, a big win there. And when you're now knocking on the doorstep, every fight means one more chance to, dare I say, title contention. I give you once again the wrestling grappling extraordinaire. I give you Alex Polizzi. Alex, to start off here with so 2 wins now, and you're once again going to fight another guy who, as you said, you probably have seen him because he's fought on TV. He has gone up as big as heavyweight. Is it getting easier now? I mean, is it getting easier just because you're more confident? You actually know, okay, well, this is going to work because I've done it before, and you seem to have answers to the test, as they say.
If we're going to talk answers to the test, I don't know how wheelie I can be there. But no, I've been fighting for Bellator for a little bit longer, and like I said, everybody up at this level is good. There's, it's not like fighting in regional shows where you might get somebody good, you might not. Everybody's top of their game, and just being at that level for a longer time just sharpens up skills all over the place. And we're gonna keep looking to bring that experience and all the experiences that we've had and turn that into cleaner fights, more excitement, and a better show.
I know you don't watch tape, and I know that for you it's always been, well, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't want to, overlook that. He's a different breed of heavyweight. He has submissions. He's a big guy who knows jiu-jitsu and applies it. And so for that, do you have your coaches watch more? Do you have do you bring in guys who specifically can use jiu-jitsu? Because that's a rare thing at 205. Most guys are just basically strikers or wrestlers, maybe a little bit of both. How do you prepare for a guy who there's that special flavor he brings? I know you don't watch tape, but you don't also want to get used to fighting a guy who, well, he'll throw an anaconda choke, he'll throw a triangle choke. He doesn't care. He's used to that because he grew up doing that.
Yeah, my coaches, I know I've said in the past that, I don't really watch tape. My coaches do a good job of disseminating, what needs to be worked on, where we need to be working, where we need to maybe lay off and not focus on for this fight as much. And they do a good job, letting that information trickle in. And then as far as opponents go, recently I've had a little bit of a change. I'm out here in Vegas training at Extreme Couture, and with that and the training partners out here, I think everybody kind of brings that special little flavor. And whether we got guys that are working on chokes, I mean, there's definitely no loss of talent out here. And whether we're talking smaller guys or bigger guys, there's bunch of killers out here that are just and we're all working to make each other better and stronger. But as far as the jiu-jitsu itself specifically, I think that kind of speaks to me. And I know I have that wrestling background, but half the fun of getting in there and getting close and getting the takedown and being on top of the other guy is working for those submissions, working for the finish, not always for the ground and pound. So I think I think that I'm not completely out of my element when we start talking ankle locks and chokes and stuff of the jiu-jitsu sort of variety. So I think it's going to be a fun fight. I'm pretty excited for it.
So for Extreme Couture, how long have you been going with them, or how long have you been working with Couture for, say, your last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights?
Well, we made the move. We made the move last year, probably around Thanksgiving. I'm here now, and so it's been few months, maybe a little bit more than a few months. It feels like a longer time waiting on Bellator to get back to me as far as another fight goes. But yeah, this is home now, and I'm finding a lot of good training partners and a lot of fun new opportunities and things to learn out here. So I'm hoping to be able to bring that into the next match and show you guys what I've been working on.
We're gonna go back to this extreme control and a lot of things in this bit, but taking back to your last fight, Grant Neal, this is a big fight. He was a guy who was, undefeated at the time or in Bellator. He was a guy that had, big, powerful guy, had a lot of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
What went right? Did anything go wrong? And for you, what was the key to this fight? Like when you look back, what was it? What do you feel was the key for you in terms of getting the split decision over Grant Neal?
It was definitely a tough fight. A lot of the same strengths I had, he also had. Both came in with heavy wrestling backgrounds, and I know that even going into it, I'm sure it was kind of a change from all the 6'1", 6'2" plus light heavyweights. We're just a couple of short guys in there trying to stick on each other and wear each other down. Remember in that fight, there was some shots that I took that maybe could have been set up a little bit better. We got to make sure that we're hiding behind, we're hiding the wrestling behind boxing, hiding the boxing behind wrestling. Always we're on a continuing path of merging those two to be a mixed martial artist extraordinaire. But really what won me that fight was making sure that there's a couple times where Grant would take me down, making sure that I was moving, getting up, and even if I wasn't able to get up right away, I was making sure that I was still striking, making sure that I was still active in those wrestling situations where you could be jockeying for position, but even when you're jockeying for position, you notice a couple knees in here, you notice that you could hit him a couple times to the body, and just making sure that even when we get to that late second round, that third round, I know I was real tired. I had a feeling he was too, and then getting put up against the cage and just making sure that we're still looking to advance our position, and even while advancing our position, still looking to stay busy, to stay working stuff, to stay pursuing. And I think one of the biggest things was, he had me up in the cage at that very last second, and I got a big crotch lift, picked him up, set him down, and I think it wasn't enough to get on top of him and stay on top of him in the last part, but it was enough to put the pressure on him, switch things up, throw a couple punches, and even though he was getting up right away, it was still moving enough so that the coaches, the referee, and the judges could see that we were working on trying to deal damage and continuing to work our stuff. So as far as the success I saw in that, I feel like that's where we were in the Grant Neal fight.
That third round, it's basically for anybody who wants it. And those are the type of rounds where you look and go, okay, the better fighter in terms of talent might not win. The better fighter in terms of technique might not win. It's the guy who just wants it more. How do you do that? I mean, when your body is aching, when you're tired, you've spent 10 minutes just literally beating the hell out of each other. In another 5 minutes, the body's going, okay, you need a rest. We need more. We need vitamins. We need probably an IV here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find that, will to go, I want this more. I don't care. I will just literally keep attacking until I collapse, and just find that, motivation to go, all right, keep grinding. We're going to wear them down. Keep grinding.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I tell people when they say, like, especially about getting nervous before fights, one of the first things that people, they're like, oh, you probably don't get nervous. Of course I do. Of course you get nervous. That's the body's natural reaction to a fight. It's the adrenaline. But being able to work past that adrenaline, make sure that it doesn't completely nullify you for the rest of the fight. And then after that initial big dump, when you're, trying to lift 2 or 3 guys times your size and put them down and swinging for the fences, after that initial adrenaline wears off, really, I got to give credit to my wrestling background, because that's basically what all Midwestern folk style wrestling is if you're tired, you keep pushing. If you're not tired, you push. If a guy shoots on you, guess what? The answer is to push. If you shoot on another guy, you got to push through and get the finish. Really, it's just that folk style wrestling mentality of just you have to keep forcing your physicality until you literally get ground to dust. So yeah, I growing up with that, there's not a lot of there's really no option in the ring when it comes to, well, I'm tired, I got to give up, or oh, I'm tired, it's just to keep pushing until, I don't know, maybe you die, or hopefully the ref will call it in your favor.
So I got to ask, the Arby's tattoo. I know that you said that if you're hoping to get a sponsor, have they contacted you? Has Arby's contacted you and said, hey, we'd love to get you on the sponsor? I mean, if Grant Yale can get Bass Pro, you should be able to get Arby's.
Arby's is a fickle mistress. She's got a lot going on, and I understand that. I'm not giving up, but the path to a real easy roast beef sandwich combo is still a ways away.
If you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we got Easy Alex Polizzi on the show. We're talking all things, of course, the fights. We're talking Extreme Couture. We're talking Arby's here. On a serious note, and my condolences, because as we're talking here, unfortunately, Extreme Couture coach Tim Lane passed away a while back. I know you guys are hurting.
Yeah.
How tough is that for you, where you want to grieve, you want to keep going, focus on the fights, and yet you go every day to train, and you'll see, oh, there's pictures of him. Oh crap, there's a memory of him. I remember him up with me with this. Because we've seen fighters who just make, whether it was George Hockey and his manager, whether it was Cody Stamen, his brother, Jake Shields and his father, all of them have said afterwards, look, we need more time to grieve. We need time to mourn. You're going through this fight here. And I know Bellator probably said, all right, take your time. But for you, how do you go forward with this fight and just keep everything together when inside, like, God damn it, I missed him?
Everybody grieves in their own way. And, it hits everybody hard. The family, the teammates at Extreme are, tight knit, and everybody's there for each other and understanding. But at the same time too, a lot of guys in the room that are staying busy, staying ready to work out, and needing to work out, get ready for fights. So it's at least for me personally, that one of the best things to do to keep moving forward, and especially for a guy like Tim, who was such a big influence at the gym, is just to keep pressing on and keep doing what you're doing, making progress forward. Nobody's immune to loss in their life, but it's figuring out how you handle it personally and being there for the people around you. So yeah, we're just keeping at it, plugging away.
Who helps you out with this? Because there's always people that you now lean on, because you need people. And I know that from experience. Sometimes when crap like this hits, you need to have those people that you can trust who help you out. So for you, who's helped you out through this and go, okay, look, Tim, look, I mean, Alex, you need to vent. We're here for you. Hey, Alex, you need to just talk. We're here for you. Like, who are the people right now that you've leaned on to get through this?
Like I said, everybody at the gym is there for each other. But honestly, for me, I'm I've had the same lady in my life for going on 16 years now, better than half my life. Finally worked up the courage to ask her to marry me this past year, and we're going to be tying the knot later this year. So I mean, there's nothing I can't tell my beautiful fiance Kirsten Goff. She's there for me. She's always been there for me, and people say like, wow, that's such a long time that you guys have been together, and you're right, but it's not just being together. Like we went to high school together. We did all of our college stuff together. We basically grew up together. She's almost as big a part of me as fighting people in the cages.
How much does that help you? Just forget about being a fighter, just as a person, having that lady who, as you said, she's been there from the beginning. So she's seen you when you're fighting in pure FC, pure FC, and probably making like $100, for his fight, coming
Uh,
home and you look like, oh crap, I look like I got mugged, or those days when you're like, honey, I can't talk, I don't feel like talking, I'm tired, I'm sore, I don't even feel like having pickle tickle. No, I just want to go to bed. And she
mhm.
understands. Or when you need money, I mean, how much does it help having somebody who just your goals mean as much to her as her
Yeah,
goals? I mean, how nice is it having somebody who, to her, your happiness is her happiness.
it's been vital. I mean, anyone who's dealt with the life of professional fighter, professional athlete, much less professional fighter, which is another story altogether with the highs and lows that come with that. I mean, there's a good possibility that without her, I might not have dipped into that mid. I might have been past my Midwestern grit, my Midwestern wrestling grit, and I might have given up the ghost a little bit. I might have called it quits. I might have moved on to something else. She's and besides just the athletic part, just we've been there for each other, supporting each other. There's times that she was in school and I had a couple fights. I had a couple pro fights and a full-time job when I was able to support her. And there's been times where, I've taken a step back, and then she's been able to financially, emotionally support me when I'm, waiting on stuff. When I through plenty of orthopedic surgeries where I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back from this one. I only got so much of my meniscus left, and she's there making sure that I'm not hopping back into things too soon, not being silly with my time or my health. So I mean, I could sit here and try to shout her out all day, but it'll never be enough. We're getting deep on this one. I
This
might
one we're
tear
gonna
up
end
a
up
little
on
bit, Chris.
more of an easier note, Vince. So once again, it's gonna come down to it's Bellator 276, you versus Jose Augusto Acevedo. You win, it's 3 fights. And I know that you don't like calling people out. You don't like doing that here, but this division's wide open. I mean, you have Nemkov versus Anderson. Then after that, it's like, okay, who's the number one guy? Is it Phil Davis against Julius Anglikas? Well, Anglikas might have won, but he's lost to a champ. Do they go to Ryan Bader? Do they go somebody else? Do they go with Alex Polizzi? Is now, if you win, is now a time for you to start, going, hey, I want a rematch with Anglikas, or hey, I want winner of Nemkov versus Anderson here. Hey, I want a big time fight. Is it time out if you win or if you beat Jose, but you go, all right, I'm calling my shot.
It's easy to look at it. I mean, it's easy to look at it, if we were 3 fights down the road and like, oh yeah, looking back, that was the right move to do. Or, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we should have shot somewhere else. when it comes down to it, you're talking military strategy on a general sort of level. You know, where to go, when to do it, when to make these moves. I'm just a pikeman. I'm just an infantryman out there swinging my sword and hoping to deal damage. So I know, Chris, that you're hoping one of these days I'm going to smarten up and start watching video and calling guys out and taking shots at people. But I'm just going to be here swinging my sword like an idiot, and people are going to keep coming to the cage with me, and I'm going to keep trying to hurt them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as he said, he is a man of well integrity. You can say that, or well, basically his wife has put some class into him. Either way, we'll find out on Bellator 276. We're proud to have once again on the show. I give you it's Easy himself. I give you Alex Polizzi. Alex, before we let you go, so where else can fans check you out at? Where is the Instagram, the website, and who are the sponsors going to be for this fight coming up?
You can check me out Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, the classics. If you search up Easy Polizzi, you'll find me there. Sponsors for this fight are a lot of the same ones from the last fight. My hometown bar, the Rock Bar and Grill, Remax Ignite out of Beloit. We got Mickey Magnum. We got JMR Construction. Now I'm looking at the list, making sure I'm covering everybody. We got Club Fundamental, ran by a good buddy of mine working, and J&J Home Inspections. And then a big one, and my friends over at Vortex Optics doing their thing, helping out. But yeah, and then lastly, everybody who's tuning in, listening, watching, catching me on YouTube, making comments on social media. You know, the fights don't happen without people watching and tuning in. So I really appreciate all you guys for taking time out to watch me try to hurt people.
Alex Polizzi, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always on a pleasure. Head on the show. We come back. Stay tuned for more great interviews coming up only on Last Call. Last Call for the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.